As a cricketing hero, Imran Khan led his team to victory against England in the Cricket World Cup. He described his team as cornered tigers. Now, 30 years on, he's once again cornered as he faces not just threats to his political career, but also his life.
You've talked about death threats, that people are out there perhaps planning to assassinate you. Does it scare you?
When I entered politics 26 years ago, and I had conquered my fear of dying, I don't fear dying. You've got to go one day. So I do believe in taking precautions as much as you can. And so by letting people know that I know about the plot, I think that's a form of protection.
But just in recent weeks, you've been ousted. What happened?
So this was a conspiracy. It was a regime change by the US.
Why would America want to remove you from office?
And somehow Pakistan had to be punished and I had to be removed.
Punished, he says, for meeting Vladimir Putin as the Russian president prepared to invade Ukraine.
Would you describe yourself as a supporter of Vladimir Putin?
So this was planned quite a way back. When I arrived in Russia, I arrived at night. The next morning, they invaded Ukraine. So we actually took a decision. We thought for our 220 million people, it was important that we needed gas from Russia. Our reserves are depleting. We needed wheat, 2 million tons of wheat from Russia, and we also negotiated oil. Whereas it's straightforward caring about your own people.
You always said that the war in Afghanistan couldn't be won by the West.
After 20 years of war, US spent what, $2 trillion, the Taliban are back. So have we got any other option? The only option left is to work with them.
Does it concern you that perhaps they are asking women to cover their faces on television, or that there may be lack of education opportunities for young girls in Afghanistan? Is that a concern?
Can anyone bring in human rights from sitting outside and especially liberate other people's women? Afghan women are strong. I think they will assert themselves. Give them time and they will, find their own rights. It is fundamental to give education to your people.
You've talked very openly in the past about Muslims globally and this issue of Islamophobia. Do you feel it's getting any better?
No, unfortunately, Adil, I think that Islamophobia has still not peaked. Any wrong a Muslim does is immediately attributed to 1.5 billion Muslims on this earth. When a man in the street in the West doesn't understand Islam, every Muslim becomes a suspect.
We have a migrant crisis in the UK at the moment. Part of the plan is to send migrants to Rwanda. That could include Pakistan. Refugees could fall into that. What do you think of that? You're laughing.
Look, this refugee problem in richer countries is going to grow. Reason being, every year there's a huge transfer of wealth from the developing world to the rich countries. $1.7 trillion move every year from poor countries to rich countries, illegally. And at the moment, there's no incentive for rich countries to stop this because they gain from this flow of money coming in. What will happen is that this difference will keep growing, and you will have millions of people wanting to move to richer countries.
If you do get back into power now, what is it you still want to achieve?
Inshallah, if I get back into power, we want to build Pakistan into a humane and just society. We want to have rule of law and a welfare state, meritocracy, and above all, a country which stands on its own feet, has independent foreign policy. These are the basic principles I set out 26 years ago. I'm still on that track.
Imran Khan, thank you very much.